Warning, on today's Music Biz vlog, I'm going to say some things that some of you probably just aren't going to like, but it doesn't make them any less true. Today's Music Biz vlog is about the 5 questions you need to be asking yourself. A healthy dose of truth and opinion is coming up next.
Gather up you weary souls, show 'em you ain't dead, tell 'em no you ain't coming home.
Hey guys, and welcome back to this week's Music Biz vlog. I'm Steve Freeman. So great to have you here with us. It is Tuesday, so that means it's time for a new vlog this week. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Thanks for coming back and checking out all the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Just hit the little subscription button and hit the bell next to it so that you're notified every time I upload new content. And as always, if you want to follow me across social media, you can do that as well on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It is at the Steve Freeman. As I said at the beginning today, I am going to say some things in today's vlog that are going to make some of you quite uncomfortable. But that's kind of the point. I think the more uncomfortable you are, the more you go searching for that comfort. And hopefully somewhere in that search and in that journey, you find the path that you're supposed to be on. Today's Music Biz vlog is about the 5 questions you need to be asking yourself. And if you aren't asking yourself these questions, and more importantly, if you don't know the answers to these questions, that might be the answer or the key as to why you aren't succeeding and why you're not accomplishing the goals that you set out for yourself. So let's dig right in, shall we? Question number 5. Is this a passion or a profession? I always find it funny when I'm working with new artists or songwriters or anybody in the business, the music business especially, but no matter what business you're in, this applies to everything you want to do in life, especially when it comes to what you want to try to do to make a living or what you want to do to be successful. This is a serious question, and I ask this of a lot of new artists, and a lot of times they laugh when I ask this question. But honest to goodness, it's one of the most serious questions that you can ask yourself. And this, I'm going in order from 5 to number 1, and of course the question number 1 being the most important. And I start out at number 5 with, is this a passion or a profession for a specific reason? Because this is where you should start. Quite honestly, the answer to this question is the key to your success or the guide to your failure. First, you need to know that you can't expect to turn a passion into a profession based on what other people say. It has to come from within you. You have to be the one to know that this is either a passion or a profession. What's the difference? I've been known to say before, and I will say it again, especially in the music business. As long as you have a guitar and you're sitting in your bedroom and you're making content and you're writing songs and you're doing it for you and you're doing it for self-gratification because it makes you feel great, then this is a passion. And there's nothing wrong with something just being a passion. But the moment you take the product of that passion, whether it be songs or compositions or books or essays or poems, no matter what the product is, that content, the minute you take that product or that content and you take it to someone else and you ask their opinion and you want their feedback, to me it's no longer a passion. Now you've entered a profession. This is where a lot of musicians and artists and songwriters go wrong. They start out their career as a passion, and that is an awesome thing. You have to have passion for what you're doing. But there is a difference between the passion side and the profession side. The minute that you want something to happen with that content that is anything other than pleasing yourself and self-gratification, you're moving into the realm of it being a profession and moving into the realm of it being a business. So I encourage you to ask yourself this question. Is what I'm doing a passion or a profession? Now, it is possible to turn your passion into a profession. But that has to be done very strategically with goals that are laid out and also a plan to monetize your passion. I see too many artists fail because they're so passionate about what they do, they didn't plan for the profession side. That's what I'm saying. Yes, you can turn your passion into a profession. I'm living proof of that. But I also planned for the business side. I knew that I was passionate about creating music. I was passionate about writing songs and producing records. I was passionate about working with other passionate people. But I also knew that I had to make a living. And passion will not make you a living. Profession makes you a living. Becoming an expert at something or somebody that is thought to know more than others about the professional side of the business. You have to learn the difference between a passion and a profession. Ask yourself that question first and foremost. Is this a passion or is it a profession? The fourth most important question I think that you can ask yourself is this: why am I doing what it is that I'm doing? What's your purpose? What are you doing it for? Are you doing it for self-gratification? Are you doing it for financial gain? Are you doing it to build your profile? Are you doing it because it makes you happy? Are you doing it because it makes other people happy? I'm surprised so often in working with artists that they have really no idea why they're doing what they're doing. They can tell you the surface stuff like, well, I want to be successful. I want people to know who I am. All those things. But they don't ever really know the answer to that question. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Until you can answer that question, I don't see how anybody can move forward. It's almost like not knowing a destination. That's why cars come with GPSs in them. If you're going to a part of town or a place you've never been before and all you see is the address, it's kind of hard to find your way how to get there. That's why you hop in the car, you enter the address, and it shows you step by step how to get there, how to get to your destination. And you don't know that unless you know where you're going and why you're going there. I encourage you to sit down with a physical piece of paper and come up with 5 reasons as to why you are doing what you're doing. It could be, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for someone else. I'm doing this because I love it, because it makes me feel good. I don't care what the answers are, but you have to know why you're doing what you're doing and why you want the things that you want. And you have to be able to explain that to somebody else. It has to be an ownership that you take inside yourself to know these are the specific reasons for why I'm doing what I'm doing, and be able to tell those to other people. And I also think that when you know the answer to that question and you know what the destination looks like, it helps you internally keep yourself driving forward because you know why you're doing what you're doing. Know the answer to that question. Why am I doing what I'm doing? If you know the answer to that question, you've got half the battle beat already. The third most important question, I think, it's so many levels, but I can't tell you how important this one is, and you've heard me talk about this on previous vlogs, but this is so important. The third most important question is this: have you set achievable goals? Now, you can go all over YouTube, you can listen to all the various motivational speakers, you can talk to people who have been successful, and everybody talks about setting goals and how important setting goals are. Well, I'm going to tell you this: setting a goal is not good enough. You have to set obtainable and achievable goals. I see so many people fail in business and in life because they do set goals, but they fail to set achievable goals. We live in a world and a society now where we look at the upper echelon of everything. And if it's in sports, if you're not Tom Brady, then you're not a good quarterback. If you're not LeBron James, then you're not a great basketball player. We put such high and unrealistic expectations on ourselves that usually translates into the goals that we make for ourselves personally and professionally. I can't tell you enough the importance of setting achievable goals for yourself. They may seem like small things, But every little achievable goal is a small step towards the overall goal and achieving the overall objective of what it is that you're trying to achieve. I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you are not a person that can find a way to enjoy the little and small victories, you are in for a world of hurt in this business, the music business, or any other business. We don't have overnight success in this business. I know it seems like it does. I know it seems like some of these artists come out of nowhere and all of a sudden they're popular. And sure, that happens from time to time, but those are more flashes in the pan. Those artists don't have the careers that you would really want to model. They're not around for 10, 15, 20 years. The artists that are, and the business owners and the business people that you can look at out in the world, they achieved their overall goal by setting small goals and learning to enjoy those victories when they achieve the small goals, because they realize those are just one stop on the journey to actually achieving the overall goal. I want to share something with you that some of you may have seen, some of you may have not, but I saw this a long time ago and I heard it and it really spoke to me, and I thought that it was so cool and it's so true. I want to share this with you. I heard Denzel Washington say this at a college commencement speech. And as he spoke these words, it just really rang true to me. And anything you want to know about setting goals and achieving goals can be wrapped up in this right here. Listen very carefully.
Dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Dreams without goals. Yearly goals, life goals, daily goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. You understand? Between goals and achievement are discipline and consistency.
Let that sink in for just a second. Really take that in and think about it. People ask me all the time, what's the key to success? I tell them consistency. I don't say talent. I don't say financial wherewithal. I don't say having a good manager or a good booking agent or a good radio promotions person. The simple key to success is consistency. Keep doing what you're doing. And in that is exactly what I'm talking about. You can learn to be consistent by setting small goals for yourself and achievable goals. Because it's also rewarding. There's nothing more rewarding than feeling like you accomplished a goal that you set out to accomplish. So if you set small, intermediate, achievable goals on your journey and on your path to that big goal, it's going to give you that self-satisfaction and that feeling of accomplishment if you set small, intermediate goals along your journey. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. We've talked a little bit about the consistency part of it, but the discipline is the getting up every day and chasing this thing down at 100 miles an hour, never giving up, setting those intermediate and achievable goals for yourself to give yourself that sense of victory, because that is like a drug. Winning is like a drug. There's no feeling in the world that competes with winning and feeling a sense of satisfaction that you've accomplished what it is that you've set out to accomplish. So the third most important question you need to ask yourself is, have I set achievable goals? The second most important question you can ask yourself, you are doing a lot, but are you getting a lot done? I find it so funny looking around on social media and seeing these artists that just, they've got the discipline down, they've got the consistency down, but it's almost like they're on a music business career treadmill. And if that's you, I'm talking to you as well. Do you feel like you've got the discipline, you've set the small goals, but you don't feel like you're ever moving forward, like you just run in place all the time? Here's something I want to tell you about this. Again, you're doing a lot, but are you getting a lot done? This is one of the key factors in achieving success in just about anything, and that is having the ability to know when it's time to course correct. Do you have the ability to recognize when you're doing something that isn't working? When you're setting achievable goals that aren't actually on the path to achieving the overall goal? So many people don't. They think that consistency and discipline is enough, but you've got to apply that consistency and discipline in the right area, in the right way, and on the right road. Some of these artists I see today, it's like they keep putting out songs, they keep doing music videos, they keep doing everything that the industry and people tell them that they should be doing, but they're not moving forward. It's because they don't realize and recognize that they're headed in the wrong direction. If you aren't moving forward, you are doing something wrong. And it doesn't matter how much you're doing, you're not getting much done. That's when that feeling of depression starts to set in because you can't figure it out. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing everything everybody says that I'm supposed to do, but I'm not moving forward. I'm doing a lot, but I'm not getting a lot done. If you find yourself in this situation, stop. Going back to the analogy of using a GPS, think of being on a road trip and all of a sudden realizing that you've gone 50 miles out of your way. Now, what moron goes, you know what, I'm just going to stay on this road. I'm just going to go another 350 miles out of my way. Nobody. But you would be surprised how many of you I see doing this. You're going in the wrong direction, and for fear of standing still for 5 seconds, you continue to go in the wrong direction. I encourage you, don't just do a lot, get a lot done. Know when you're going the wrong way. Pay attention to the signs. They're everywhere around you. When you feel and or know that you are going in the wrong direction, stop. I'm also going to tell you something important. Don't just turn around and come back the way that you came. Because what you don't realize is the minute that you do that, when you realize you have gone the wrong way and you are 100 miles off course, don't turn around and come back the way that you came. Why? Because you're just going to retread all of the wrong ground that you've already gone over. Stop. Take a second. It's okay. Think about your next move. Look at the map. Look at your assets. Look at your content. Look at the people around you. Look at where you're supposed to be. Plot the simplest, fastest route from where you are now to where it is that you need to be to get back on track. And we've made it all the way to number one. Here it is, folks. The number one most important question that you should ask yourself. Are you chasing fame or success? Because let me tell you this, and I know a lot of you are watching this thinking, God, that's a big thing with him. It is. And I think it goes all the way back to question number 5. Is this a passion or a profession? And also question number 4, which is, why am I doing what I'm doing? So the most important question you can ask yourself is, are you chasing fame or are you chasing success? Because let me tell you this, it is possible to achieve fame without success. It's also possible to achieve success without fame. So many artists find themselves on that treadmill we were talking about, not really moving forward and doing a lot but not getting a lot done because they're chasing fame. And they're buying into this philosophy that I call the perception deception. So many artists, and all of us, in fact, we are so hungry for people to notice our art and notice our content and notice ourselves personally, that at times we are willing to forego the success for the perception of either fame or success. That's why social media has gotten where it is today. All of these social media superstars are not famous. Most of them aren't even successful. It's a perception of either. It's a perception of fame or a perception of success. When I'm developing an artist, I always work with these artists to strive to achieve success. Fame is not something you can control. Fame is not something that you can bring onto yourself. And the perception deception is extremely detrimental to anybody. Because what happens is you start to buy into that perception. It's not real. You can scratch the surface, and below that, there's nothing. Perceived success or perceived fame is worse than not having any of either. Why? Because it's not real. Perception is a very dangerous tool. It's also a very powerful tool. But when I'm developing an artist or when I'm working with a new songwriter, I always tell them build solid ground under every step that you take. You know, we were talking about making intermediate and achievable goals. As long as you're making goals and setting goals for yourself that are achievable, every time you achieve that, you're building solid ground underneath that. Now, in a social media world, in a perception world, it's okay to draw as much attention as you possibly can to those small victories and even the larger victories. But when you do that, you realize you are creating a perception. But it's a perception that when you scratch below the surface, you find reality. And if you're an artist or anything else in life and you ever look at yourself and you give yourself an honest assessment and you find that your perception is so far away from your reality, that's the first sign that you know you're heading in a wrong direction. Does your success level come close to the level of perception that's out there about you? If they're too far apart, then you're making a wrong move. We live in a world today where everybody wants to be famous for something, and some people just want to be famous for being famous. But let me tell you something. Fame fades. Success can last forever. Fame eats itself. Success breeds on itself. I encourage all of you to take a very hard look and ask yourself this question. Am I chasing fame or am I chasing success? Because I'm going to tell you something. Success in this business or any other business is easy. It is not hard to be successful. If you roll up your sleeves and you get up every day willing to fight the fight, and you are willing to put in the hard work and go the extra mile and realize that it is on you. If it is to be, it's up to me. If you take that attitude and you go out into the world with it and you fight for every inch and you set obtainable goals and you know what the end destination is and you fight tooth and nail to get there, success is available to you. Just to recap, let's go over the 5 questions you need to be asking yourself. Number 5, is this a passion or a profession? Start there. Know the answer to that question. It's okay to find out that something's just a passion and pursue it. And I will tell you this, if you find that what you're wanting to go into for a living with your life, if you realize that it may just be a passion, that's okay. The minute you turn a passion into a profession, it becomes a job. And jobs aren't always fun. Sometimes we'd all be a little bit better off if we left our passions as just our passions. Number 4, why are you doing what it is that you're doing? Know the answer to that question. What's your purpose? What drives you? What's the end goal? Why are you doing what it is that you're doing? And a little side question to that to add to it is, who am I doing it for? Number 3, have you set achievable goals for yourself? Not just goals, but achievable goals. Have you written them down? Have you physically written a plan on how to get from where you are to where you want to go? Number 2, you may be doing a lot, but are you getting a lot done? Don't get yourself caught on a treadmill where you get up every day and you do all this, but you're not moving forward. The key to success in anything is moving forward. It may only be an inch, it may never be a mile, but you'll never reach the mile without the inches. And the number 1 most important question you can ask yourself, are you chasing fame or success? I promise each and every one of you that if you chase success and you implement the answers to the rest of these questions, you will achieve it. Now, it may not be easy, and it's certainly not overnight, but don't get depressed. Don't get discouraged. Success is a long and hard road to walk, run, climb. It's difficult. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But I know that you can achieve it with hard work and knowing the answers to each one of these questions. Guys, thank you so much for checking out this week's Music Biz Vlog. As always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I love it when you do that. Just hit the little subscription button, but also make sure you hit the bell next to it so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to follow me across social media, I'd love that as well. It's at the Steve Freeman on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and now Twitch. Also, don't forget, we're going to be uploading 2 videos a week now, so on Thursday of this week, we'll upload this week's second video. Until next time, guys, keep being creative, keep pushing the boundaries, and there's nothing wrong with being independent. See you next time.